committee members are present.
Entertain a motion. We accept the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Very good. With that, we have 3 items, I believe, that's up, 2 items that are up for public hearing. One is delayed, but we have 2 items that are up for public hearing today. And the process will be we'll receive a report from the planning department. They will provide us with a report. After that, we will then ask that anyone here that wishes to testify before the committee please be sworn in by our clerk of council, Sarah Biviano. After that, we'll then open up the public hearing, ask for input referencing the items that are up for public hearing today. After that, we'll close the public hearing portion, open up to questions from any committee members, and then any council members, open it up for questions from them. And then from there, we'll then have an additional public hearing at 5 o'clock. The only difference is going to be is that the committee will make a recommendation to all of council, either in favor, against, or to take time and table an item for further discussion. So those are the procedures that we'll be following. And with that, Sarah Biviano, could you please read in the first item that is up for public hearing today?
The first item up for public hearing today is an ordinance authorizing a conditional use to establish a dual-use cannabis dispensary at 235 East Waterloo Road and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Antonucci.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Battle Green Real Estate LLC is seeking permission to establish a dual-use cannabis dispensary at this location. Petitioner intends to remodel the currently vacant retail drive-through restaurant building on the site to be utilized as a dual-use dispensary. The structure would receive modest cosmetic upgrades to company branding, but would otherwise remain unchanged. Parking for 38 vehicles is available to the front and side of the building. Access drives are located toward the east and west of the lot. A row of shrubbery along the north side of the parking lot screens the activity from the residential properties to the north, which lie approximately 10 feet lower in elevation. Deliveries would occur within a secure area. Petitioner intends to operate the dispensary 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. The available parking exceeds code requirements. Lighting and video surveillance, in addition to other requirements for packaging and prohibited activities on the property, should mitigate any negative effects on the surrounding neighborhood. The proposed use is in a heavily traveled retail district. Goals of the Land Use and Development Guide Plan include encouraging the renovation or redevelopment of older neighborhood business districts and guiding the location of new retail development so that it will be convenient to residents served and will have minimal impact on adjacent properties. The proposed dual-use dispensary would reactivate a vacant retail structure and is adjacent to compatible uses, and both the planning staff and planning commission recommend approval, subject to conditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Antonucci. At this time, I'd like to request if there's anyone here who wishes to testify before the committee in reference to the conditional use request at 235 East Waterloo, please be sworn in by Sarah Biviano, our clerk of council.
You could please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, I do.
I do.
Thank you. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing portion and ask if there's anyone who wishes to testify before the committee. Please step to that microphone there and push the little button, and we'll go from there. Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, Craig Maurer with Canamed Battle Green Real Estate, here on behalf of the ownership group. Just wanted to open it up for any questions. I'm happy to give a statement if you guys need so about the company, whatever you see fit.
Thank you. Thank you. If there's any questions after we close the hearing, we'll open it up for questions. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll ask if there's anybody else here who wishes to testify before the committee. Is there anyone here wishing to testify? Anyone? Is there anyone online?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we do have 2 people that signed up online.
Very good. If you could, is it Kelly Impola?
Yes.
Okay, welcome to the Planning Committee of Akron City Council. If you could please provide for us your name and address. Thank you.
My name is Kelly Impola. My address is 2793 Carlsbad Circle, Aurora, Illinois, 60503.
Well, thank you. Welcome.
You.
Is there anything you'd like to say before the committee?
No, I am a representative of the company. I'm the head of compliance for the company. So it'll be my responsibility to make sure this dispensary is following all of the state and city rules and regulations. So I was just joining as support and to listen and meet some of the town members.
Okay, thank you very much for attending today. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Mr. Sweet, I believe?
Yes, Rob Sweet, McBride Clarion. Address is 5721 Dragon Way, Suite 300, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45227. I'm the planning zoning consultant working with Mr. Maurer and Battle Green on this proposed development and here to answer questions as necessary.
Why, thank you very much for attending too. Is there anyone else wishing to testify before the committee referencing the item at 235 East Waterloo Road? Anyone else? Okay, with that, we will now close the public hearing portion and then open it up to any committee members who may have questions or comments at this time. Is there anyone on the committee? I see Mr. Kamer, your hand is up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the opportunity. Sorry I'm not there in person, but I will be there at 5 p.m. Obviously, this is in my ward, and I'm asking the committee to, continue maybe taking time on this proposal. I'm asking my colleagues to, in the next week or two, if we do take time, to maybe drive by the facility and drive by the neighborhood just to see if this is a good fit. Obviously, this being new to our city and to our state, one of the concerns I do have is the closeness to the elementary school that's located approximately like 900 feet from this location. And, this just being new to our state and our city, I'm just asking us to take time and asking some of my colleagues to weigh in and encourage them to, drive by the location and just drive by the area to make sure that if we do move forward with this would be a good fit. That's one of my concerns. And I did hear from two residents and with their concerns. And obviously, I want to make sure that I listen to them and make sure that we move forward slowly so we can look at everything. Moving forward, obviously, we do have another proposal on the agenda that's on the same street also, that's approximately a little over 1 mile. So moving forward, one of my concerns is now I possibly could have two of these located on the same street in my ward instead of being in two different parts of my ward per se, if that makes sense. So with that, I'm just asking the committee to hopefully take time on this item, asking my colleagues to take a drive by, really look at this and make sure it's a good fit. But like I said, moving forward, one of my big concerns is the elementary school. And with this being new to our state and our city, I just want to be sensitive of that. So I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments from any committee members and or council members at this time? Okay, not seeing any. I'm sorry, is there a hand up? Yes, Mr. DeShazer.
I just wanted to get some clarity on operating hours again. So if that could be covered, that'd be good for me to understand.
Mr. Antonucci, can you answer that?
Yeah, the submitted plans showed that the operating hours would be from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Very good. Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Tina Boyce?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For Mr. Antonucci, the council member mentioned that this was 900 feet from a school. Is that the case? Because I thought we had set policy that it had to be 1,000.
Well, we go along, it's actually 500 feet.
Okay.
That's the state requirement, and that's,
Monday through-
we pretty much echo that state requirement on the 500 feet.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions or comments? Did notice within the ordinance, oh, yes.
Yes, I also noticed, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Mr.
I also noticed that the operating hours are from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday through Saturday. 7 days a week?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
On
You
item number
said
8.
10.
10 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week.
Okay, we have 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., so there's a discrepancy with the time?
Yeah, the ordinance says, it's item number 8, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Maybe the petitioner has some clarity on that. Our write-up says 10 to 9. Maybe there's a typo on the ordinance.
Okay, that's a question mark we could try to get answered in between. If there's any, okay, we'll work on that. Yes, Mr. Kamer?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Also, that is one thing I forgot to mention too when I heard Mike mention the time. One thing I would like us to consider, and I'm going to consider, is the operation, particularly on the weekends. Like I said, this is new to us in our city, and I know that neighborhood, and I know some of the businesses that operate around that neighborhood, and some of them, like I can see a dentist office. I believe we have a veterinarian clinic that's right there also. And some of those businesses are closed on Sundays. But like I said, I just wanted to bring up some of the concerns I have, and hopefully my colleagues will drive by and think about some of my concerns so we can move forward together on this and see what's best. But yeah, operating something like this late into the evenings, 9 p.m., is a concern for me. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sweet, I see your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to just maybe add a couple quick points of clarification on there. And before I go any further, Mr. Kamer, Craig and I would love to have a few minutes with you today, tomorrow, this week to discuss, some of these concerns and try to clear these up a little bit more for you, if that would be possible. To jump to the hours of operation, we typically go 9 to 9. However, we are more than happy to adjust those the way that council would like to see those.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Thank you. Any other questions or comments from any council members? The hearing's closed, sir, unless there was a direct question. But yeah, and you'll have an opportunity at 5 o'clock. So any questions from any council members whatsoever? Okay, very good. Yeah, 5 o'clock. Very good. With that, we'll move on to the next item that is up for public hearing today, which is referencing a property at 1395 Collier Road. Sarah Viviano?
Yes, the second item up for public hearing today is an ordinance approving with modification the renewal application of Amy B. and Robert P. Dunkler to have agricultural property at 1395 Collier Road placed in an agricultural district pursuant to revised code section 929.01 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Antonucci?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. Amy and Robert Dunkler are requesting renewal of agricultural district designation for this property at 1395 Collier Road. Dunklers have 16.12 acres of land devoted for agricultural use. Agricultural designation will provide benefits in the form of property tax relief, and the designation status would cease upon request for city water and sewer. The planning staff recommends approval. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's anyone here that wishes to testify before the committee, if you'd like to stand and be sworn in by Sarah Biviano, our clerk of council. Thank you.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth? If so, please say, "I do."
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll now open up the public hearing portion. And if you could please provide for us your name and address, we'd appreciate it. And welcome to Akron City Council Planning Committee.
Hello, my name is William Dunkler, and I live at 2077 South Hametown Road in Copley, Ohio. And I'm here with my brother, Bob.
And I'm Bob Dunkler. I live at 1015 Perry Avenue in Barberton, but represent 1395 Collier Road in Akron.
Very good. Thank you. Yes. Is there anything that you'd like to share with City Council?
We've enjoyed farming, and the west side of Akron for nearly all our lives, and we would like to continue to do so. Both our families are involved in it, and we really enjoy it. We try to do a good job of upkeeping it and making it nice.
Yeah, we
So,
appreciate what you do.
thank you very much.
And we appreciate you guys also. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify before the committee referencing 1395 Collier Road? Anyone else? Okay, very good. We'll close the public hearing portion. Now we'll open up to any questions from any committee members and/or council people, persons, folks. Okay, not hearing any. Very good. We'll move on to the balance of the agenda. However, we'll invite you back at 5 o'clock this evening if you'd like to show up and/or if you'd like to Zoom in. We also have that capability as well. Sarah Viviano's in charge of that. And thank you again for coming down today. We appreciate what you do for the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Council.
Thanks. Take care. With that, we'll move on to the balance of the agenda. If I can find it. I'd like to request that we look at item, it's here somewhere, the other one on Arlington Street. I'm not sure what the number is. The dispensary, cannabis dispensary on Waterloo Road, I believe. Is that the one, ordinance?
Are you looking at number 10, the
yes.
ordinance at 926 East Waterloo Road?
Just noticed it, yeah. That's the one. Thank you. We've had a bit of time on this and wanted to vote on it. First, wanted to ask if there's any questions or comments from anyone on this whatsoever. I'm not hearing any. With that, then I would like to entertain a motion that we approve this item, item number 10. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Very good, the ayes have it. I don't think we have any new legislation, do we? With that, I believe we are done for the evening, for the afternoon, I should say. Short of any questions or concerns from anyone? Very good. With that, planning is adjourned. Thank you.
Our next committee today will be the Parks and Recreation Committee, and it will begin at 1:45. Those committee members are Connor, Lombardo, Bolden, Hannah, and Boyes. Again, that's the Parks and Recreation Committee, and it will begin at 1:45. Thank you. Okay, it's 1:45, and our next committee meeting of the day is the Parks and Recreation Committee. Those committee members are Connor, Lombardo, Bolden, Hannah, and Boyes. We do have all committee members present whenever you're ready, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. We have no old previous legislation before us. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting, please?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Thank you. We have no old legislation before us. We have one new piece in Parks and Recreation. It is a resolution congratulating the University of Akron men's basketball team on winning the 2025 Mid-American Conference Championship and declaring an emergency. And I'm going to turn it over to Councilman Lombardo, please.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Guess I can stand. Yeah, so we are certainly proud of our University of Akron Zips men's basketball team. And this resolution says it all. It was a tournament for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You win, you go home. You win, you stay. You lose, you go home. And they beat on Thursday. They beat Bowling Green rather handily, and then on Friday, Toledo, they beat them just 100-90. So it was a shootout, really. Both teams were hot from the field. So then we go on to Saturday night, where they faced Miami, and like this resolution says, I mean, Miami was shooting the lights out of the basket the first half. They had an 18-point lead, and the Zips were down. They cut it to 12 by halftime. And then as they went on, they'd get close, but then Miami would bring it back up to 11 or 14 or whatever. But they cut the lead to 6 points with 8 minutes to go, and then 2 points with 5 minutes to go, and then it was tied with 90 seconds to go. So no doubt everybody was on the edge of their seats. And then, like in the final 30 seconds, the Zips had to stop them from scoring, which they did. And then it was a race down the court. Here's how much I know about coaching. I probably would have called a timeout to set up a play, but not Coach Gross. He did a great job. They had a fast break, and they ended up scoring basically a layup with 2 seconds to go to win it 76-74. Miami couldn't, tie it up in less than 2 seconds down the court. So certainly proud of their season. The way it's not over. They get a ticket to March Madness here, which they'll play Friday in Seattle. They'll play Arizona, so we'll be watching for that. But some of the things that they did throughout the regular season, they won 25 regular season games. So that was the most in their program history. And their 17-1 record in the Mid-American Conference is the best in the MAC conference history, I guess you could say. So anyhow, they were one of 7 teams in the nation to be undefeated at home. So a lot of props to them, and their really, Coach talked about this morning on the radio, their poise, right? When you're down like that, you can't come back all at once, but obviously they stuck to the game plan. The coaches had their poise, and that's the way the players play. And it's just a big credit to them and the program. So with that, just would ask for passage today for this resolution.
Thank you so much. Are there any additional comments from committee members? Councilwoman Boyce.
I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate my alma mater on their great season as well. I thought they were going to pull it out, but luckily, either way I rooted, I was a winner. So congratulations to Akron also.
Yeah.
Any comments from any additional council people? Is there a motion to?
I'd like to suspend the rules with a favorable report.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. That concludes our Parks Committee. Thank you so
Our next committee will be the Public Service Committee. Those committee members are Kamer, McKittrick, DeShazier, Bolden, and Lombardo. That committee will begin at 2 o'clock. Thank you. Okay, it's 2 o'clock, and our next committee meeting today is the Public Service Committee. Those committee members are Kamer, McKittrick, DeShazier, Bolden, and Lombardo. We do have all committee members present whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes, I'd like to move forward and call the public service meeting to order. All members are present. And can we get approval of our meeting minutes from last week, please?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. We do have one piece in front of us today, and I will ask Sarah to read that in since I'm not in council chambers at the moment, please.
Sure, this is item number 2 under new legislation. It's an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into an agreement or agreements and/or legislation with the Ohio Director of Transportation for certain improvements in the city of Akron on State Route 261 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. And I see we do have our service director, Chris Ludlow, with us. Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of committee. Yes, this piece of legislation will give authorization for ODOT to perform not only, and their contractor, not only preventative maintenance on the All-American Bridge. Obviously, the All-American Bridge runs from Perkins over to North Hill. Main Street there, and the scope of this project will be they will be doing patching of the concrete bridge deck. They will be adding a net underneath the bridge for in the event if there's any falling concrete. They will be doing repairs to the pilasters where the lights are at. But the biggest portion of this, they will be replacing the anti-vandalism fence on the bridge. The other piece or portion of this legislation, and we did talk about this in the capital budget, is the city finds that it's very important to keep the same height of that anti-vandalism fence. Their standard is 6 feet, and to replace the current bridge or current fence with the same height, because it's 8 feet, there is extra cost, and we will bear that extra cost. Now, this hasn't bid yet, but our estimate, or their estimate, was $288,000 for the difference from the 6 to the 8 foot fence, and that's what we would be responsible for, and then the labor to install that. So this is a $5.6 million project, and like I said, our portion is about just under $300,000. Also, this project is, they have put together bid documents, and they're going to be bidding this real soon. So this project will start this summer. They figure it will wrap up in the fall. They will get it finished this year. They will maintain 1 lane of traffic each way while they're performing this work.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that, Chris. Committee members, any questions or comments about this piece of legislation? Councilman Lombardo?
Thank you. Just one question. What is, Mr. Ludlow, what's spall removal?
Spall?
Yeah.
When concrete seems to, if you see it, it's flaking off, or spalling concrete means maybe water got in there and pieces will want to chink off. They will go in there with like hammers and they will get all that off so it doesn't fall. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, 5.6 and our portion is 300,000. That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilman. I appreciate that. Councilman DeShazier.
Yeah. You answered part of my question. That's what I was going to ask too. That's the rusty looking part that's dripping.
Well, that's from the fence. The fence is rotting, and that's what you see. So when you say spalling concrete, they just break off what's, long as there's nothing that needs to be replaced from structural, they'll just take off that maybe 1/4 inch, right? The loose concrete, they'll peel it back, and then they're going to recoat that whole bottom where you talk about the rust marks. So remove the old fence, put in the new fence, and then recoat and repaint that parapet wall.
Okay. And the other thing is, I would assume that we'll maintain the curvature that's on the fence so that you can't scale it so easily.
Well, there is no curvature on the current fence.
Okay.
It's just straight, and that's what this one will be. Instead of, but their standard, when they're like, if you look on the route, the expressway project over bridges, they use a 6-foot standard fence. Now, sometimes the parapet is a different height, right? But this one, they were gonna put that back, and we said, no, we want that to go back 8 foot. So that's why they're putting it back 8 foot.
Okay. So I guess I'm imagining the curvature, but.
Some bridges, they do have that curvature, but this one does not have it currently, and the new one will not either.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilman. Good questions. Anyone else on the committee or in council chambers? If not, Chris, what are you looking at for this piece?
Could we suspend the rules so they can get going on this project, sir?
Sure, committee.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules with a favorable report.
Second?
I have a motion and a second for suspension of the rules. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, we'll present that this evening. Chris, thank you for coming down, and nothing else. We are adjourned.
Our next committee today will be the Public Safety Committee, and it will begin at 2:15. Those committee members are McKittrick, Kamer, Lombardo, Hannah, and Davis. Again, that's the Public Safety Committee, and it will begin at 2:15. Thank you.
Call what?
Okay, it's 2:15, and our next committee meeting of the day is the Public Safety Committee. Those committee members are McKittrick, Kamer, Lombardo, Hannah, and Davis. Councilman Kamer and Councilwoman Davis are joining us here online. We just need to have them turn on their video. We do have a quorum whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Clerk Viviano. I'd like to call public safety to order, and we have previous minutes to approve. If I can get a motion.
Motion to approve previous meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor to approve the minutes? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We have one piece on the regular agenda we'll continue time with. We have a new one coming in today, authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts with Polytech Associates, Inc., to provide pre-employment polygraph services for police division candidates, declaring an emergency. Chief McCosey.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. This piece of legislation will allow us to enter into this contract. The polygraph is a part of our regular hiring process. So all of our police candidates go through that polygraph process. We do have one polygraph operator for the police department, and they're not always able to satisfy that demand. So this contract will allow us to have a third party do the polygraph for us and then report those results as part of the hiring process. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Thanks for the information. Have we utilized this company in the past? Is this a new company or?
Yes, this is more or less a continuation of our relationship with them.
Okay.
We've been working with Polytech, I believe, since 2019 to help out with this. And again, there's just so much time that our polygraph operators have, and in order to get through the hiring process in a timely manner, we need that outlet.
Okay, very good. Have any questions from any committee members or any other council members? What's your pleasure, sir?
We would like suspension of the rules if that would be amenable to the council.
Okay. I have a motion from the committee.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules with a favorable report.
1 second.
You have a motion and a second for suspension of the rules with a favorable report. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Thanks so much for coming down today. I appreciate the information. We have nothing further to come before public safety. We will be adjourned. Thank you.
Our final committee meeting of the day is the Budget and Finance Committee, and it will begin at 3 o'clock. Those committee members are Lombardo, Amobian, Fusco, Boyes, and Bolden. Again, that's the Budget and Finance Committee, and it will begin at 3 o'clock. Thank you.